Welcome back to the channel today, everyone, for part 3 of the Forager's Vacation of Mayhem. Now, as you can clearly see, I am in a different room here right now, but that's not important. What is important, however, is that this episode of Spy X Family kicked ass today. It was sick. The music in this episode really complimented it, actually. I just found myself jamming out to the music watching it. It was great as we wrap up Yours arc today. Great episode, great action, and everyone even has a moment to shine. Everyone gets a little bit of something to do. Yours fighting off the assassins, Lloyd's defusing bombs all across the boat, and Anya's being Anya. What more could you really ask for from Spy X Family? So without further ado, let's get straight into it and talk about Spy X Family Season 2, Episode 9 today as we wrap up Yours arc. So our episode begins immediately where our last one left off, in the middle of a heated battle. As we see the director is done for. He's out. As we see Yor is fighting desperately against a powerful assassin. And as we transition to the rest of the Forager family, things are not as crazy for them, or they soon might be, as we hear, the fireworks are so pretty. As Lloyd says, I'm glad you enjoyed them, but I'm sorry we couldn't find Yor. As Anya's like, I totally forgot about Mama. Sorry, Mom. But it's here in this moment, to interrupt our good times, we see Lloyd notices something suspicious as he says, the State Security Service officers seem uneasy. And upon listening in, we learn there's a bomb at the bottom of the ship? As Anya reads his mind and overhears that as well. A serious situation. As Lloyd's like, what should I do? Should I gather more information? Surely the State Security Service officers will take care of this. But this man, Lloyd, knows what could happen if they fail. As he says, considering the greater risk at hand, I can't just ignore this. But he also can't ditch Anya here. He can't just leave his child in the middle of the boat. What's a man to do? But it's in this moment Anya comes in clutch again. She'll be doing that a lot this episode. As we hear, I'm not done playing yet, Papa. I'm going to go play in that room. You go back to the room. As Lloyd's like, oh, daycare center? Perfect timing. As he says, all right, I'll come get you in a bit. You stay right there, Anya. Do not leave. And as he drops Anya off at the daycare center, everything seems fine. But we all know our girl's got a different plan in mind. And it's here as we transition to our bomb here. We see the staff of the ship is stressed as we hear, can you disarm it? And then we hear, shut the hell up. I'm trying to concentrate, man. And it's in this moment we need a hero to show up. Good thing one does, as we suddenly hear, pardon, I used to be in the Navy. I was in charge of disarming bombs. Conveniently. I'd like to offer my assistance so we don't all blow the fuck up. Is it possible to move the bomb any way from here? As we hear, no, there's a trap inside of it. As we hear, a time bomb, type BCP-62. As our master of disguise says, a bomb that extremists from the West love using. Is the suspect someone important from the East? I haven't heard anything from HQ about a group like that. It's possible the bomb was designed to make it look like the West was responsible. And it's here. It's time to get to work. And it's here as we transition to Anya, freshly escaped from the daycare. We hear, I'm going to leave the bomb to Papa and find Mama. But as she's running, she suddenly overhears to think she pretty much slaughtered all those well-known assassins. Damn. What a terrifying woman. As Anya realizes that's one of the bad guys' voices. And as we transition to our broker, we hear, I've made more than enough on this job. It's time to leave. I'm getting the hell out of here before those hyenas sniff me out. You guys can keep playing around for whatever time is left. Soon, this whole ship is going to sink into the sea. And as Anya suddenly loses track of him, she says, whatever, right now, I gotta find Mama, but I'll keep that in mind. And it's here as Anya makes her way outside the boat. She actually finds Mama Stabby Thingy. Perfect description for that, by the way. And it's here she gets her stabby thingy out of the ground. She overhears Yor in the midst of her fierce battle. As Yor says, I can't get close enough to him to finish him off. As we see they're in a stalemate, with our other assassin constantly interfering with his gun, making this a 2-on-1 fight. As Anya realizes Mama's right above me, she's having trouble because she's missing a weapon. And it's here when she realizes that there's no way for her to get up there. There's only one thing for our girl to do. She's gonna save Mama. As Anya, with all the strength of a 5-year-old girl, throws it up there with the rising hope throw. And actually makes it up there. The rising hope was actually hopeful for once. As we actually see 2 assassins up here that were sneaking around trying to go take out Shaddy, slips on it, one guy knocks himself out, shoots the other guy in the leg, causing him to hit his head and knock himself out, as our stabby thingy ends right in the buttocks. As Anya's just like, all according to plan. And it's here as Yor's fighting, she suddenly notices her stabby thingy in this guy's asshole. As Yor legit does like 30 backflips here, and then goes and grabs it from his ass. I'd grab that. But now, our fight is very evened up. And it's in this moment, our other assassin knows what time it is, as he prepares himself and says, come. I'm gonna end this with my next strike. As Yor, with all the strength she has left, lunges at him right here. As we hear, look at her, charging like some idiot. As this one assassin plans to shoot her as she's charging at him. But suddenly he gets shot by the director, who comes in clutch here. As he says, damn it, you stupid old man, fuck. And it's here as Yor and our assassin have an exchange that make a lot of shonen shows jealous. We see it looks to be a stalemate. That is until we see blood pooling on his chest and he falls over, defeated. Yor has won. As Anya overhears, it's finally over. I'm so tired. As she says, Mama's victorious! All thanks to me, of course. As Yor's like, oh, I gotta go let Oka and the others out. And it's here we keep the good news going, because as we transition back to our boy Lloyd here, we see that he has successfully disarmed the bomb. As Lloyd's just like, I'm far more nervous about being surrounded by so many state security people than being around this bomb. But it's here in this moment. We might have celebrated too soon, as Lloyd has a bad feeling. Because in this moment we suddenly hear, there's still multiple bombs? As Lloyd tells the crew, if the suspect's goal is to sink this ship, the amount of gunpowder here is nowhere near enough. As we hear, just in case, we should evacuate the guests. As we hear to where? We don't even know how many bombs there are or where they are. We can't cause a commotion. And it's here. The hunt is on as we hear, have anyone who's free right now check the rest of the ship. And don't let the higher-ups figure out what you're doing or we're all screwed. And it's here as we transition to Anya trying to make it back to the daycare so she don't get chewed out. Yo, I've done that before. She suddenly walks past our assassin as she hears, damn it, this hurts! I need to extract the bullet. I can't go with an orthodox method. I need to regroup. I'll kill them, no matter what. As our assassin suddenly realizes, wait, this scent is gunpowder? As he says, there's a bomb inside the clock? Could it be that bastard? And as Anya overhears that, she's got to find a way to let Lloyd know. And it's here as we transition to one of the employees on this ship who looks very overwhelmed, by the way. We suddenly hear, pardon me, as our girl's here, in disguise, of course, saying, earlier, some old guy I don't know stuck a booger onto that clock. It was very gross. It was super gross, actually. Can you go clean it? As he's like, a booger? Little girl, I'm busy right now. But as Anya starts pouting, he starts thinking, wait, getting information about some weirdo right now. It's not very likely, but I guess it couldn't hurt to check. As he tells her, alright, I'll go take a look, as Anya's plan succeeded. And it's here as we transition to our assassin trying to make a getaway in his boat. We see that there's a little bit of trouble in paradise between our two assassins. As he jumps on the boat and says, "Hey there, Mr. Informant. Where do you think you're going all on your lonesome?" As he says, "So you're still alive, huh?" As he asks him, "You're the one who planted the bombs, aren't you? You were planning to take all of us out with them?" As our informant says, "Quit whining, you loser. This is the perfect opportunity to send the targets and the garden to a watery grave." As our assassin says, "I told you some of our clients' guests were on that ship too, though." As our informant says, "Like any of them are that important." "Don't worry. The bombs are made to look like they were made in the West. If things go well, war will break out again, and weapon sales will be through the roof. The client will be plenty happy, trust me." As our assassin says, "Get this boat moving. I need to regroup." As our informant pulls out a gun and says, "Who the hell said I'd give you a ride? There's only enough food and water for one on board." As our assassin says, "In that case, it sounds like they belong to me." As a very heated stalemate is going down. And it's here as we transition back to Lloyd. We see this man's got his hands full as we hear, "Bombs have been located in the third cargo room, the upper part of the balance tank, and the boiler room." As Lloyd says, "From what you're describing, it sounds like all the bombs were planted by the same person," which we know they were. As he disarms this one and says, "All right, on to the next one." As we suddenly hear the upper floors on the 8th deck. And it's here even Lloyd starts sweating, because that's where Anya's supposed to be. And as we get to the clock here, this is a predicament. All these people are around here, and they have to not cause a commotion. As Lloyd realizes, we gotta get these people away from here. And then says, we can't though, there's no time for that. And it's here with no time to spare. Drastic measures have to be taken. As Lloyd rips the clock off and says, "I'm throwing this into the ocean." And it's here as we transition back to our assassin battle. We see that our informant got the upper hand as we hear, "I'll let you in on a little secret before you die. The second fireworks show is going to begin any minute now." And it's here as we transition to Lloyd throwing this very expensive clock off the boat, by the way. It's an antique. We see he throws it right above our assassins here. And he blows these motherfuckers away. Good riddance. As Lloyd's like, "Was something down there?" Whatever, who cares? As he tells the crew member, "Could you make some kind of announcement so there's no commotion?" "You can? Yeah, thanks, appreciate it, my guy." As Anya's like, "Yeah, he stopped the bombs, baby! All thanks to me again." But it's here. Anya's time runs out as the coppers get her here. R.I.P. to our girl. She's getting a timeout. As we see our assassins down in the water get circled by some sharks. We'll leave it up to your imagination to see what happens. But it's here as we transition back to Yor and the director here and everyone else. It's time to say goodbyes as we hear, "Some of them may still remain. Stay on your guard." As he tells them, "We're all set. It's a bit early, but let's lower the boat." As he tells them, "Until the cruise ship gets far enough, stay covered with this cloth." As Yor tells them, "Please continue to take care of yourselves." And it's here, Shaddy hugs her here and tells her, "Thank you so much." As Yor's like, "Your clothes are gonna get dirty. I got blood all over me." But she doesn't care. As Shaddy says, he wants a goodbye hug too. As Yor's like, "Seriously, my hands are all dirty here. I don't want to touch him." But Shaddy tells her, "Your hands are what connected him to his future." And as Yor's holding him here and then embraces him, it is an extremely touching scene. As I'll even admit, watching the episode, I teared up a little bit because it's a really beautiful scene, truly. And Shaddy watching Yor like this says, "It might not be something you can wish for. I might be overstepping my bounds, but even so, I pray that someday you and your family will be able to try and find true peace. I hope so too. And as the director confirms that they made it out okay here, he tells Yor, now we just have to wait for word from the retrieval ship. But it's here as he takes one look at Yor here. He knows exactly what's going on as he tells her, don't let yourself actually become sentimental. Don't forget that we're nothing more than foot soldiers. And it's here, though, he showcases that he's actually a good guy, as he says, by the way, I forgot I had a message for you. Forger's trying to set up somewhere to meet with you tomorrow. On the island where we'll be staying at. As Yor's like, Lloyd and Anya are? As he tells her, I'll be on the lookout for any stragglers. As a reward for completing this mission, make sure you see their request through. Basically telling her, go enjoy time with your family. You've earned it. And as we transition to our boy Lloyd here, this man's been going through it as he says, I hope I can leave the rest of the state security service. And as he goes and picks Anya up here, we see she's knocked out like a light here. As we see, she's exhausted, man. Truthfully, she kind of was the MVP here. She really did save both of them for once. As Lloyd's like, I know it was an emergency, but I ended up casting my family aside again. As he suddenly has to realize, wait, what am I even saying? My family is just another mission. As we can see, our boy Lloyd is starting to feel a little bit differently himself, whether he realizes it yet or not. And it's here as we transition to the start of another day. A beautiful day. Anya immediately rolls off the bunk bed. Been there, done that. As we see that she's super excited that they're here at their destination. As we see Yor bandaging herself up. She got messed up during that fight. As we see it's the start of a beautiful day. Lloyd and Anya head to the front of the ship as we're about to hit the island. And we just transition to Yor being able to relax and smile from ear to ear for once, as she's about ready to spend a great day with her family. And it's here, our episode ends in the best way possible. What a nice ending to our arc, guys. We're going to have a little bit next week about it, but essentially our main arc is done here. And I think it was just great. I think they absolutely killed this. When I was reading the manga for this, a while ago at this point, I always hoped that they would do such a great job with this arc in particular, because it really is one of my favorites, because I really like Yor. I've always liked Yor as a character, and she never had much time in season 1 to really stretch her wings, or for us, the audience, to sit with her and see her line of work, really. And this arc fixes that. We spend the entire time with Yor, and we see exactly how she's feeling in the moments when she's doing this stuff. How tough her job is. It's just really awesome that we got this arc, and they absolutely knocked it out of the park. I couldn't be happier, and I love Spy X Family. That's what I get at the end of this episode. Just a reminder of how much I love this series. So let me know your thoughts down in the comments, because I'd love to hear them. Now, until next time, guys, I hope you all have a great day, week, month, and year. And until then, deuces, have a blessed day, and go spend time with your family too, because they love you. I'll see you guys next time. Deuces.